I think you've discussed this many times on the podcast before because we love to joke about Dave Ramsey. None of this stuff is black and white. Dave Ramsey tries to say credit cards are bad. You should never use a credit card. This is so parallel to people when they say gambling is bad. You should never gamble. No, it's not that black and white. Credit cards are amazing. Credit card awards are amazing. But yeah, you shouldn't get a bunch of credit cards and pay 27% interest. Yeah, that's bad. But part of that, and it's the same with gambling, you shouldn't gamble beyond what you can afford to gamble. You should have limitations and restrictions on what you're doing. Of course, that's a personal responsibility thing, but you don't throw out the concept of using credit cards because people can't be personally responsible for the fact that they should pay their balances in full and run up interest. That's more of a personal responsibility thing. And I believe that people need to learn from their mistakes, but also learn how to use things. But you don't vilify concepts like credit cards or concepts like gambling just because some people out there are completely undisciplined or do things wrong. That doesn't mean you get rid of the tool.
It's the personal issue. It's how the tool is being used.
Right. And we don't solve personal issues by making those kind of blanket statements. We assume people can make their own decisions about what makes the most sense for them. Isn't that everything in life, right? That's even health, right? Eating fast food every once in a while is fine, but eating fast food 3 times a day isn't fine. But saying that you should never eat fast food is probably not really a great idea because that's not really the truth of it. And saying you should never eat fast food because you believe if somebody eats it once, they don't have the discipline to not eat it every day is silly. A lot of it does become into personal responsibility and risk. Understanding risk is really important. A lot of times, people who are gamblers and involved in casino loyalty have a better understanding analyzing risk. A lot of the things you were talking about, Justin, with playing blackjack and the stuff that you do online with MGM, that's very math based. That's like really not risky by the math. I mean, there's long term, short term variance, but it's not risky.
Yes, there's always some kind of risk, and there's also organization that's a part of it as well. So yes, there's always going to be some risk or cost in most circumstances, whether it's gambling, whether it's miles and points. It's appropriate to evaluate those risks and costs. And very often things don't come free. Time is also a consideration as well.
Absolutely. My main point here is when people get a little bit triggered when they hear about gambling, that a lot of the things that you do when it comes to gambling and that I do when it comes to gambling are what we would consider in the big picture relatively low risk. So that's something good for people to understand.